Alright, 5th graders, first part of this project is going to be creating a colorful background and painting over the top of it to get some cool textures. And the second part is actually going to be creating this pattern on the back of your board to help you with the stitching next week. So it does not matter which one you start with. You can start with the color or you can start with the pattern. This is going to be the back of my cardboard, so you might want to check which side is nicer. This one looks a little bit nicer. This one is kind of dinged up, so I'm going to trace this pattern in the back where it's got those dings. Around this circle there are 16 little marks. What I want you to do next to each mark is just create a little mark with your pencil on your cardboard. So you want to do this before you pick it up after you've traced. Because this is the back, we also want to get our name on the background. I'm going to flip it over, and that's all I have to do to create that pattern. I'm ready to color. You can color first if you'd prefer. On this background, we are going to add some kind of a pattern. You can look at my finished example here, and you can see that I have like a pattern of pink, purple around the edge. You can see some green in the middle. You can see some pink and purple in the middle of that. Your pattern can be radial, meaning a pattern around in a circle. It could be stripes. It could be polka dots. When you use the oil crayon, I'm going to go with some stripes here. You want to press pretty hard. If you go really fast, your color is not going to be very dark. So I'm not going to bore you with watching me color. I am going to finish this up, and then I will show you the next part. Alright, 5th graders, I am almost done with my coloring, and as you can see, I have filled the entire square up. I've pressed pretty hard. There are some spots showing through of the cardboard. That little bit, it's okay. The texture of this cardboard is really hard to get all colored. So once your coloring is done, once you have your name on the back and you have traced that circle pattern, you're going to head to the back counter for the painting part. At the back counter, you will find finger paint. There will be black, blue, green, and maybe even purple. You're going to pick one color. And what you're going to do at the back is you're going to paint your entire square with this finger paint. The reason we're using finger paint is because it is kind of transparent, which means it's kind of see-through. It's not going to cover up all of your color. I am trying to paint in one nice thin layer. I am trying not to have any gobs. So if you have big splotches like that, kind of hard to see, you're definitely going to want to rub and smooth those out to get rid of them. At the back counter, you will find some different texture combs. I would choose just one to create some textures on your square. So when you hold them by the handle and you rub them over your wet paint, it's actually going to scratch some of the paint off and create a really cool texture. You can go multiple directions. So I went one way. I'm going to go vertical and scratch. I have some cool X's and squares happening on my project. If you don't like something, just take your paintbrush, maybe a little bit more paint, and you can paint those out. You're not going to want to do this 10 times because your paint's going to dry. If you don't like something once or twice, that's okay, but then I would just go with it. I'm going to go with some diagonal lines, and maybe I will cross those as well. So once you have your square looking the way you like it, it is going to go in the small red drying rack to dry. Alright, we are on to the planning part of our project. So you're going to get a sheet from Mrs. Cleary's table. You will need some thin markers to plan and a ruler. So I'm going to start by getting my name at the top. And please write your class, whatever class you might be in. I'm going to go with Miss Dupuy's class for today. And we're just going to practice to figure out which kind of design we're going to have on our project. So Radiating lines. It says to pick one color. I'm going to go with the purple in my hand. It says to start at any notch. So these circles or these little dots are the notches. You marked the notches on your pattern. You're going to use a ruler to draw diagonal lines that radiate from your starting point. So what that means is I'm going to start at one dot, and I am going to draw a diagonal line to the dot next door, then to the next dot, then to the next dot, and I'm always staying at that first starting point. You can do this as many times as you'd like, and then you can stop. Step 4 says to pick a different color and a different notch and go again. So definitely your choice. You could start with the notch next door, either direction, or you could completely go and skip a bunch and do some other radiating lines. So I'm going to skip a couple, and I'm going to start with my ruler going to the next door and to the next one, always beginning at that same notch. I might stay with this pattern. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 purple radiating lines, and I have 1, 2, 3, 4 pink. I'm going to go with 5, and then I might end. So sticking with my pattern, I skipped 1, 2 notches, and then I started pink. So maybe I'll skip 1, 2 more notches, and I'll do a different color. These marker colors might not be the colors you use with string, but it gives you an idea of your different possibilities and different designs. So I'm at 3, 4, 5, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You can repeat this as many times as you want around the circle, or you can leave it at 2 or 3. That is one option. Next option is rotating squares. Pick one color, start at any notch. Use your ruler to draw diagonal lines 3 spaces from your starting point. So what that means is I'm going to start right here. I'm going to skip 1, 2, 3 spaces, and I'm going to make a diagonal line to the next one. I'm going to skip there, 1, 2, 3, and I'm going to make a diagonal line over here. I'm going to skip 3, 1, 2, 3, and I'm going to make a diagonal line right there. 1, 2, 3. What I've done is I've just made a square. So if you make the square rotate, you would just move to the notch next to your starting point and repeat steps 3 and 4. So I am going to do one more color for this. So I'd go to the next notch, skip 1, 2, 3, and I'd make a diagonal line. 1, 2, 3. This marker is really icky, but you can see that my square is starting to rotate. 1, 2, 3. If I continue this, it's going to look really awesome with all the different colors. So I would repeat that on your planning sheet a couple more times so you can start to see what kind of design that makes. Skipping 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Looking pretty neat. So you could repeat this 3 times. It starts to get a cool design, or you could keep going and go on and on and on. Spectrum. This one is actually how my finished example looks. So I picked one color. I start at any notch, and I'm going to use my ruler to draw diagonal lines from one notch to the next. So there. I'm just going to go around the circle, radiating this spectrum. So this looks really great with just one color. I missed that notch a little bit, but you get the idea. This looks really great with just one color, or you can repeat this multiple times on your circle. On my finished example, what I did is I had one color started, and then I started with a second color, straight across, and I did the spectrum going this way. So they overlap, and then I actually ended up doing it 4 times. I started on the opposite sides as well. So with the spectrum, you can do one color, or you could do that a couple of times. So the last one, I want you to get creative and create your own. You can combine these ideas, or you can make up your own. If you want to try to create your own, you could do that, but I would like you for sure to try just at least one. So you would have 4 finished circles on your planning sheet. If you want to do a 5th, that's optional. At the end of art today, I want you to star the design that you are going to do on your finished project. That way you have a plan set for next time.